Okay, let's take a look outside the box. We've all heard that, haven't we? But that's not what you really need to do. You need to be looking outside the box at the people outside the box, if you understand what I'm trying to say. It's not looking outside the box that needs to be done. You need to be watching the people looking outside the box. Because those are the very people that are going to put humanity into boxes and do and will. I want to touch on a few subjects here. One of them, gun control, open AI, data centers. I'm not sure where this will end up at, but let's look at gun control. Now keep in mind, there's nothing that they put in the limelight that is what is the real agenda, okay? I know it looks like that, especially with the shootings that we've had recently and for years now, that the Democrats and the Republicans are trying to get the guns away from one party or the other, right? When we all should already know, okay, it's one bird, two wings. It's obviously just a skit. There's no party trying to take guns from the other party. That's not what's going on. It's impossible. There's no critical thinking there. So then what do you have on the table if you realize that? Well, then what they're talking about isn't the real agenda. They don't want our guns. They have made sure that everyone has a lot of guns, especially in the U.S. And tons of ammo, heavy guns. Why would you do that? You always have to ask why, because what they're showing you is not what is on the table, okay? You have to turn it around, upside down, shake it. Basically what they have here, humanity-wise, is they're picking a fight in this schoolyard. And the United States is basically the bigger guy or gal, whatever you want to use there, in the schoolyard that they want to get rid of. They are the stronger one. That's why they have always loaded us up with guns here. They're not going to take guns. That's never been their intention. Ever. And why would they do that? Because they don't want to fight us. They want us to fight one another. And that's what they're going to induce here is civil war through hunger and strife and you name it. Okay? That's what's going to happen. They could never realistically take the guns anyway. Keep that in mind. It would be impossible. Well, there's laws on the books. Well, have the laws ever meant anything before? So obviously the laws are a lead away again. Everything is a lead away. This isn't like they're thinking about it a couple weeks ago or a few years ago. This has been set up for thousands of years here, recycling like this. When they decide to make a law, it's not like somebody said, hey, maybe we should make a law. They've already known that for a very, very long time. This place is not what you think it is. So they need to get rid of the bigger guy in the schoolyard first before they do what they want to do. And on top of that, they want the energy from it. Okay, that's how they will run open AI. They need the energy from everyone during bad times. So it's not about gun control. In fact, they've made sure that everyone has plenty of those. Here in Indiana, there's so many guns they carry now. It's like the wild, wild west around here. And let's face it, I mean, you wouldn't even want to break into somebody's grandmother's house. She probably has a pistol, rifle, and a shotgun by the door. It's not about that. They don't care if we have guns. It's not like they couldn't fly over the top of us and get rid of us all. This is all boils down to energy. They don't need our guns. Keep that in mind. Because I'm going to take this somewhere else. So now that I hope you can see now that it's not about that. They need us to have a civil war effect, some Hunger Games, so they can sit back and feed off of the energy. And that's literally what these parasites do. They're not human, okay? I know a lot of people may be having a hard time really grasping that. They may look like humans to you, but they're not. They're a morphing pile of shape-shifting garbage cans. One body of them, if you see one person, that's hundreds or even thousands of different parasitic demons attached to make that one body. How do I know? I have seen a few. I really have. Wish I had not, but there's no unseeing what I have seen. So now you have the OpenAI. They need a lot of electricity, and I've went over that. And they are not building OpenAI, okay? It already exists, and they need the electric for it. But that's coming from every man, woman, and child off the face of this earth. Well, maybe it's the data centers. No. The data centers are, well, I don't want to get too graphic here or put too much fear out there. And it's not fear. It shouldn't be. It should be just that this is wisdom and make the appropriate findings and brace yourselves. Data centers near a lot of big cities. Obviously, that is your Soylent Green. That's why they put that in the B movies, because they know people won't look very deep into the B movies. They need your energy. In fact, let me put this out there. A lot of people are afraid to use AI even to do word searches or ask it something. And I am no way, shape, or form telling you that it's okay to hang out with one and ask it stuff like buddy kind of stuff. But if you don't understand yet that you've been using AI since day one, you need to wake up, okay? The very first phone you got and you ask it a question, what do you think that was? That's AI, okay? So don't be afraid to withdraw some information from this shape-shifting garbage can system. Some people are afraid to even look at the AI thing or use it. I occasionally use it for something like Soylent Green. Put that in there. Ask it, what can you spell from the following letters? But before you put in the letters, mix them up, or it won't tell you what's going on. Because AI is actually stupid. Say, what can you spell with the following letters? And then you do Soylent Green, but you mix up the word Soylent first, like maybe YOSENTL, and then green, RENGN. And it'll tell you exactly what's going on, and then you'll understand what the data centers really are about harvesting everything from your energy to your actual body. Okay? They do consume us. Remember your scriptures. The serpent and its seed line consume what for its food? The dust. When you put these words in, and it's not just Soylent Green, all words, you're going to find archaic words, all kinds of things. It will absolutely tell you why they gave you a silly word like Soylent Green. It doesn't matter. Any words you want to do, or the phrases they put up in front of you with the quotes around them. If you unscramble those, it will tell you exactly what's going on. You'll see why you're eating your alphabet soup. It's a spell. Data centers are not to open AI. Okay? Ultimately, OpenAI has always been here. They need more energy for it to get a hold of all of us, and that will be done through gathering us up and hunger type like games and civil war. The energy released, from mankind will be exponential, and it goes into the air and is absorbed. This is no different than you walking into somebody's house. They said, come on over. And you go there and you can walk in the living room there with them, and you can feel the energy in the room that something really bad was going on before you got there. That is what is released from every one of us, even if it's good, happy, sad, fighting, hungry. It doesn't matter. It's released into the air, and they feed off of it. That's how they're going to light the open AI up to a maximum field to harvest. Harvest too. Anyone here that is harvestable, okay? Now, all of this does not mean that the Lord is not coming back. Okay? And I'm not putting these things out there for fear. But even like the word open AI, that sounds cut and dry. Well, it's not, okay? There are many words within that. And you can either do it on, pen and paper and do it yourself, or go into the computer, which is AI, has been the whole time. The very first time you ever asked the phone or computer anything, you were dealing with AI. So don't freak out when you're dealing with AI to actually get real information from this system. Because it is dumb enough to give you information if you ask the right questions. It really is. Which proves, again, that it's not all-knowing. It's taken a lot of information and can, spit it out quite quickly, but all that information came from the theft of humanity's minds for many, many, countless generations. That's all this is. And I hope you understand that these are not humans. If you could shake that from your thoughts and understand that you're not dealing with human beings, then you will be way better off and will be able to see through this garbage. And of course, the outcome does not look very good for humanity, does it? Because good luck. I don't like that word. I don't know what other word to use. To wake people up. Try to tell them even anything I'm telling you here, that they want to lock you up in a house somewhere, right? A home. And I'm scratching the surface. If humanity knew how bad this actually is, they would absolutely be in a panic. They would. The average person would probably just fall over. Okay? I'm not saying any of you would do that, but I am telling you this, that I am scratching the surface with my videos. What I talk about is like literally a few drops of water out of a whole swimming pool of water. There are absolutely things I cannot even mention. Are they provable? Absolutely. I wish they weren't. I wish I was wrong from what I've been shown. But there has to be a reason why I have been shown these things and others have been shown things. Iron sharpens iron. We got to keep doing that. Iron sharpens iron. Well, what good is that? Well, it means you're making something sharp. Physically, mentally, and spiritually, because this is a battlefield. This is going to be a horrendous, unimaginable battle. It really is. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them, and thank you.